a new car. Why not just keep it, right? Keep your car. You love it. And I said, yeah, I love it. It's a really nice car. He said, so yeah, so put snow tires on it for $700 and you don't have to spend money on a new car. And I said, wow, that's good. And yeah, I realized that I just didn't have to rush through it. And oh my God, I gotta go get this new car now and get rid of my other car. It was really easy and really simple. And I just, halfway through, I said, I'm just going to do this with God. I'm not going to do it on my own. And, this having a lot of compassion for myself because a lot of the times I struggle with, I want everything to be done now and try to just rush it. But when you do it with God, it's easy and it feels peaceful. And so that's what I really took away from this was, to make sure that you do have that foundation, and just working through whatever transitions you're going through with God, and being at peace and just being compassionate with yourself because it's not something that you have to rush or go through. It can be really easy and very, very light to go through these transitions with God, even if they look challenging and hard on the outside. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Certainly, you've touched on the theme that Yoreen talked about before, Alex and Lau, and that was about how uh, being peaceful and learning to support yourself through everything compassionately, and yeah, and being focused and really clear about where you are with your desires, and pursue your desires inwardly. Do your inner work. If you don't seem to be progressing on the outside, that's a sign to do more inner work. You don't have to force things to happen on the outside. If things aren't flowing in the way that you desire, just go within. Ask yourself what the spiritual cause is of the block. Be present with yourself and be present with the process. Trust the process. Take charge of the process. Be on top of it by doing your inner work, by doing everything that you can in the moment. And that doesn't mean that you have to be like doing, um, tiring yourself out 24 hours a day. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just to be, just to relax and allow all your good to flow to you. Allow God to bring you your good. It's like that's a bit more difficult for God to do if you're running around everywhere trying to make things happen, trying to engineer an outcome. It's not about control. Taking charge of the process is not about controlling it. And yeah, and being impatient about moving forward or not feeling like you are. Those are the very feelings that need to heal. Those are the feelings that can be keeping you from your desire. So you've got everything you need right there. If you've got an uncomfortable feeling, that's what you need to be working on right now, to move through it and move past it and move forward in your desires in your journey. That is work in the process. And also be ready to receive your desire. If your desire comes in when you're not ready for it, you might miss it or you might freak out and push it away again. That's a law of attraction thing there. So yeah, so that's why preparation's important, so that when your good does arrive, you can keep it. Like the stuff that you do to bring your union in is the same stuff that you do to keep your union around when it does come in. It's no different. It's just the inner work, healing through your upsets with the mirror exercise. Of course, when you're twin flames here, you have to be mastered enough with the mirror exercise to be able to do it when you've got the mirror with you 24 hours a day. Otherwise, it can get a little bit intense. Oh, yeah, there's a little knowing nod from Drake there. Yeah. Yeah, we all know what that feels like. So, yeah, so you want to be as prepared and have enough of a foundation and be mastered enough to the degree that you need to be for a happy union in order for union to come in. If union's not coming in yet, that's okay. There'll be a reason for that. You don't have to know what that is right now. You just keep working through the feelings that arise about it and keep going deeper. And everything's going to become clear. Everything's going to fall into place. You'll get to a point where you can just say, oh, it's just this. It's so simple. And that's when you know you've got there. And then we're talking about what was it, confidence we've got. And yeah, that really spoke to me because in one of Drake's readings that you did for me a little while ago, you did say, are you confident in your relationship with God? Are you confident in your relationship with yourself? Are you confident in your relationship with your twin flame? If not, just spread a little bit more confidence there. So that really did hit home for me. It's it's just building the foundation. You don't have to be perfect. Just be as ready as you can be right now, and that's enough. Let it be enough. You can choose more. You already are good enough. Just work through your feelings. Just do what you can to the best of your ability now. Let it be enough. And be flexible and have an open mind as to how things unfold because God never does what we expect him to, and that's okay. Just know that God's way is the best way, and it's okay if we don't understand it or there's bits that don't seem to make sense to us. Just know that God knows what he's doing.
Yeah, my biggest lesson is to really have to learn to receive because I've always been very busy, um, long time in my life, and I have a lot of drive, but I'm just learning every day to be relaxed and take time for myself, quality time. I think I have few time for myself, but when I being present with me, I realized that I'm not really that's not just the quality time of um, take time for myself, and then I need the inner work for came down and compassionately with me. And that is very, very important and a big lesson for me that it's to being myself with or present, take time with myself, quality time. It's enough. I do not too much for others or for my business. And yeah, that's the, the biggest lesson for me. And now I have my twin flame invite me every week that hey, take time. I'm very busy. Okay, okay, I understand. And that's a beautiful journey to realize where I stand at the moment and what is the lesson, and then go through there. And yeah, that I'm enough for being, just being. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think you touched on something, really important, but it's just being with God, right? Just being with yourself. And that is what also builds your confidence when you're going through all these crazy transitions, or okay, we're moving into not being in physical union to being into physical union, or not talking to your twin flame and talking to your twin flame. I know something on my journey that I had to really, focus on and build was, yeah, my confidence and my relationship with God. Um, because there would be points in my journey where I would say, "Hey, this is going on, and this is really scary, and I don't know how it's gonna resolve." And God would just say, "Hey, keep doing your inner work and focus on me. I got it." And I had to really trust that. And the more that I chose to trust and just relax into what God was showing me and just heal that, it it changed, and whatever was going on worked out for like a positive aspect. Things with my twin flame, where I would be going, oh my God, how am I going to heal this? How is this going to change? How is this going to dissolve, and God would just do it. God would say, "Oh, see, you did your inner work, and now it's resolved, and you don't have to worry about anything." And yeah, it takes time to develop that relationship, but God is always gonna prove that you can have faith and trust in Him if you do really receive that. If you do really choose to go deeper with Him in that way, because God wants to show you, hey, I'm gonna give you everything you desire, but you need to trust me. And yeah, it's a very important thing that I learned on my journey. But it's for everyone too. Everyone can have that relationship with God where, hey, you can trust even if you're going through this crazy transition period in your life, or everything's gonna work out. You just having faith, and yeah, you just build that confidence. It's really an important thing, and thanks for Rachel for bringing that up, because yeah, it helps you in your journey, just being confident and going, yep, I know that God's gonna pull me out of this. I know that I'm gonna get through it with God together. Like it's everything's gonna go perfectly fine. There's nothing to worry about. Even when there's a hurricane going on, you're still safe. You're fine. Not a literal hurricane, but hey, maybe that's what you're experiencing, but just the spiritual hurricane of stuff. God is still there. God is still helping you. And God is always inviting you to go deeper with him. And that's one thing that you can do is when you are going through these transitions is go deeper with God. Really, really test that relationship, and see how you feel doing that. Because if you feel uncomfortable about it, okay, well then there's something to work through. You know that there's a level that you don't want to go with God, and that's ultimately a level that you don't want to go with yourself. But when you heal that, oh, hey, maybe your relationship with your twin flame changes. Maybe it goes deeper there because it's all really connected, and you just have to make that choice to trust, and let things be easy, because your life can be extremely easy. Your reality can be extremely loving, but it's really up to us to choose that for ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a choice. Now, sometimes that feels a little bit easier said than done, but no, we all owe it to ourselves to feel good. When you are doing your inner work, it's very important to do the mirror exercise, not to solve the problem, but to feel better now, because you deserve to feel good now. I mean, that's what's going to bring you the results. Now, you're not doing it to get the result. You're doing it knowing that you will have the result. And as Melanie was saying a few minutes ago, that having blocks to receiving, that can be a problem, and it can take quite a while to heal those. But you just have to keep chipping away at it, because it can take time to prepare the foundation for your union. But that's however long it takes to build the relationship with yourself that you need, and the relationship with God that you're needing. And then you'll be able to handle the upsets that come your way, rather than blaming your person or being living in fear of abandonment. It's yeah, it's not a nice place to be that. So move through the feelings about it, heal through the feelings, bring love there. And that's what's going to make your coming together and staying together so much easier and so much more peaceful and fun, because you'll know how to handle everything, and everything will just flow so much better. And like I said before, you don't have to be perfect there either. If you seem to make a misstep, well, really, then there's no mistakes on the journey, because everything is a learning experience that takes you deeper into the love, because that's what you're choosing. But if you feel like you made a mistake, just make a new choice there and keep going. It's like no harm done. And there was also talk of the transition to seeing yourself as and your twin flame as one, rather than two separate people, and that's what makes union come in. Certainly, I was listening to the Toronto talks earlier on, and they were all saying how it was always there. It's just a question of realizing it. So really, the only thing that needs to change is perception. Nothing needs to happen between you for you to have union. Like, your person doesn't need to do anything. You don't need to wait for them to come forward or reach out or anything like that. All you want to do is raise your vibration with the mirror exercise. And when your vibration rises to match the frequency of union, it's yours. Union has to come in because you've matched the frequency. The details will take care of themselves. Like, so you never have to worry about the what ifs and the hows and the do you mind if I don't? None of that. None of that matters. Like, God's got everything figured out for you. And I'm just going to quickly check. Oh, I can't minimize my screen. No, I was gonna. I have another tab open on my computer with a quote that I saw first thing this morning from Abraham Hicks, and I got it up for this talk because it seemed so apt, especially in terms of what I'm going through right now. Get into the habit of thinking, "Oh, I can't wait to see what the universe has got in store for me. I can't wait to find out how the universe is going to fix this for me." So you don't have to worry about how it's going to be fixed. Like, yeah, get excited that God already has got it all figured out for you. Get excited about coming to the point where you see how God has it all figured out for you. So you can just relax and let God do God's job.
Yeah, for me, what's always important for me is that to see where I'm today and where I was few weeks ago or months ago or years ago, and to trust of this journey and see that this work works. And I like to compare myself with my former me, and that's awesome to see what is changing in my life. And yeah, that is for me an awesome journey. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to compare yourself with anyone, but how you were doing before compared to how you're doing now. Okay, so while everybody's digesting that last bit of information, um, there was that bit at the end of the sermon where they talked about an unexpected transition that throws you off. That's a bit like a curveball from the universe. I'm sure we all had those. In the transition from separation to union, that can be pretty jarring as well if it's approached in a certain way. But if anything throws you off or jars you, yeah, the advice is to center yourself and ground yourself. Work through your feelings. Do the mirror exercise. Because change can happen abruptly, but it's not. It isn't. It doesn't have to feel bad. I mean, we're afraid of change, and we imagine that change is bad because, of course, in Miracles said that our first experience of change was going into separation. And that's why we don't like change. But the truth is, while we believe that change might lead to more separation now, change will actually lead to the end of separation for us. So it's okay to embrace change. It's okay to welcome it. It's it's nothing bad. There's not going to be any nasty surprises. It's okay to allow God to bring us a lovely surprise. That's how God rolls. So keep choosing it, keep moving towards it. It has to be chosen by you. in order for it to manifest and for you to take the divinely guided action steps. So keep pointing yourself towards God. Keep choosing love, because if you're choosing love, your destination can only be love. Does anybody have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, what you were talking about reminds me of this picture where it's this little girl and God, and the little girl's holding on to this teeny teddy bear, and God's like, "Hey, just trust me." And behind his back, he has like a really big teddy bear that he wants to give to her. And the girl is kind of still holding on to that teddy bear for dear life. And it just represents that sometimes, God may ask us to give up something. And it may feel uncomfortable. It may feel not good because again, there is that fear of change or, oh, what's around the corner. But in reality, if God is asking us to give up something, it's because there's something better for us. And it's about trusting that too, and trusting God in that space of, okay, well, yeah, you want me to let go of this, and I'm just going to trust that you have something better, because God does, because God knows us better than ourselves. He already knows our whole journey. He already knows what's going to happen, and it's just up to us to really relax into that and to choose that, because God really just wants to take care of us. God wants to nurture us, right? Father God or Mother God, they just want to take care of us and in that space. And when you release that resistance and you're open to change and you're open to love, you can really invite what God has in store for you in. And again, God's not going to give you something that you're not ready for. So you have to be ready. You have to choose to open to that. And I mean, that's something that I had to work through on my journey too, was letting go of something that I thought I wanted, or I thought that felt good, and God said, "Nope, let's not do that. Let's this is going to feel a lot better." And I just had to surrender and trust into that. But every time without fail, there's always been something better. There's always just been more love, more openness, more abundance, whatever that is that I had to let go of. And I think that's also really important too when you are going through transitions, because when you're transitioning into something newer, yeah, maybe you had to let go of something. Oh, I'm moving from being in my own house to being in, my twin flames house, right? You're moving into something that you're comfortable with, quote unquote, and okay, this is something new, but it's what's best for you, right? It's your greatest heart's desire, and it's just trusting that, because sometimes, yeah, you're just adjusting to that new energy, right? That new vibration that you've called into, and that you've manifested for yourself. And yeah, it's okay to be compassionate too in that space. And if you have fear coming up or anxiety, just choosing to release that, um, and recognizing that you're safe. I know that's something I had to really fall into too, was that, hey, I'm safe. Nothing bad is happening. Nothing is going wrong. It's okay. God is with me, and just having that knowing in my heart, and choosing to continuously love myself through those uncomfortable feelings, is just what's brought me into a greater sense of love, because that's all God is ever doing for you, is bringing you into a greater sense of love and peace, even if your reality looks crazy, or it looks like, God, what are you doing? Are you sure this is loving? Are you sure? And God's like, yes, trust me. And so that's really all you have to do is, know that God is a loving God, right? If that's what Jeff said today in class, that was something that stuck out to me a lot, was God is a very loving God. He just wants to love you, just wants to be with you. So yeah.
And on that note, is everybody feeling complete? Melanie, you feeling complete? Yep. Okay, so thank you for watching, everyone. And if you would like to make a donation or find out more about the Church of Union, please visit unionism.org. And goodbye and God bless, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Bye bye.